Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Ripple wires 55.5 million XRP, sending biggest part from wallet last used 7 years ago. Yes, that's right, there's a wallet that Ripple owns that was just dormant for the last 7 years, but very recently we saw some XRP from it on the move. Now, interestingly, because we frequently don't know the specifics of why XRP is being moved to or from Ripple. What's the intended purpose with any amount of specificity. In this particular case, though, we actually do know what the wallet was used for and why it's been dormant for the last 7 years, which is interesting. But now, typically, beyond that, we can just make assumptions because we know that Ripple's really only sending money at this point anyway, sending XRP rather to strategic partners that purchase it, and then they do some repurchasing, which we also recently found out. But as far as the specific rationale for each individual transaction, don't usually know the case, and so it was interesting we could actually learn a little bit more than expected with a transaction like this. Also included in this article is something that I've not heard anywhere, and again, I've been in the world of crypto for almost 3 years now. November will be 3 years. And there's a short story to share with you that was included in this piece from you today that I've not heard anyone talk about, having to do a way with which previously you could earn free XRP, which is interesting. And I'm not talking about airdrops. I've talked about that in the past when Ripple is actually just giving away some XRP. This is a whole different program, which is now defunct, but I just hadn't heard of it, so I thought maybe you'd find it interesting. But before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, I would definitely appreciate the support. And also, I recommend that you subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel if you love your mama, because she wants you to be happy. And if you subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, you will find true everlasting happiness. You're welcome for that. Alright, let's dive in now. So what's this all about? 55.5 million XRP. Well, gosh darn, that's a lot. XRPL Monitor reports that Ripple has wired a gargantuan amount of XRP, utilizing a wallet setup for a major XRP giveaway to the community in 2013. Meanwhile, I don't know that I want to touch on this much, but it's included in the article. Meanwhile, Jed McCaleb continues to cash out the XRP that Ripple has been paying him after he gave up his position, his CTO position in the company. Well, it's more so that it's just being distributed ever since then. However, Jed McCaleb, he's co-founder of Ripple. He's the brainchild of XRP itself. So he was gifted a ton of XRP from the get-go. So it was his regardless. Really, just has more so to do with the rate at which he can sell it, for example, and receive the rest of it. And so it's just kind of being held via a legal agreement. So there is that. But the XRPL Monitor has spread the word that the blockchain decacorn Ripple, which, unlike Bitcoin and other cryptos, strives to improve the current financial system and help banks upgrade, has moved another major amount of XRP. So it's 3 transactions totaling 55.5 million XRP in total, and that's been spotted over the last 24 hours, so it's worth about $16.5 million. Right? And so a whopping 10.5 million XRP were transferred between regular Ripple wallets. Use the word regular just to kind of indicate the ones that we normally see in these types of flows, which are marked as activated by Ripple, according to analytics website BitHump. But the rest of the sum, the majority of it, was sent between wallets activated back in 2013 to be used for WCG XRP rewards. What is this? I saw this and I was like, what is WCG XRP rewards? Well, it comes from this, and they link to this. And again, I never heard of this, ever. This is from November 27th, 2013. So yeah, Ripple's been around for a hot minute. This is like, if you think about it, I know that's a young company still. Like, this is an elderly crypto company at this point, or blockchain company, if you will, right? Because the asset class has only been around for about a decade, right? But check this out. Idle computers are the tools of do-gooders, thanks to World Community Grid, or WCG for short, a program that pools computing power for researchers to use as they work to solve problems plaguing humanity. We love the program, so we're rewarding WCG participants with XRP. Here's how it works. Anyone with an internet-connected device can participate. First, sign up for the WCG and create a Ripple account. When your computer is on but not in use, you donate your computing power to scientific projects. Available projects to donate computing power to include curing cancer, fighting AIDS, and finding clean energy sources. Unfortunately, they were also not fighting to find a solution for toxic Bitcoin maximalism, which I think would have been obviously the most noteworthy area to increase research on. It's a problem that plagues everyone here in the XRP community, is toxic Bitcoin maximalism. We're all affected by it one way or another. All right, as you compute for good, you generate WCG points redeemable for XRP. To learn more and start donating, visit computingforgood.org, which is a defunct website now. I tried to click on it. It is definitely down. But how about that? And so it's interesting that you're giving up your computing power to get a cryptocurrency, XRP, which on the surface sounds like mining. Obviously, it's not mining. The XRP has a different consensus algorithm that allows it to solve the double spend problem with no mining being necessary. I'm just saying the fact that you're getting a cryptocurrency by giving up some computing power on the surface without digging any further, it just sounds interestingly similar. So don't know why it went down, but that's where this XRP came from, the huge chunk of the 55.5 million. Don't know why they chose to pull it from this wallet specifically after all this time. Maybe it's just like, hey, that's been dormant sitting there. It's not going for anything. There's no reason to keep it there. And so out into the world it goes, perhaps. I'm not sure why else they would wait so long to do that. But how about that? So there you go. Every now and then I get kind of caught off guard when I'm researching stuff on my, mapping out my content for my daily videos I put out, and then I'm like, I have quite literally never heard of something like that. Just kind of an interesting concept. So there we are. Now how about this? Let's talk about this for a minute. This is a piece from Daily Hodl. It's titled, China's Blockchain Boom Moves Forward, with 10,000 new companies formed in 2020. So 10,000 in roughly the first half year. And think about this. So this is China, and this is China, obviously not necessarily the most crypto-friendly place in the world as far as being able to buy and sell, hold crypto, all of that, but I will be gosh darn 10,000 new companies. Now, I know that there are a ton of people living in China. In fact, I knew it was over 1 billion, but I Googled it and before recording this video because I wanted to see, okay, what's the latest number? And it's 1.93 billion is what Google gave me as the first result. 1.93 billion people living, whereas in the United States where I live is 327 million. So a lot of people in China. And still, I know that's a ton of people, but my gosh, I thought 10,000 new companies? Just here, check this out. Check out what they had to say here. China's blockchain sector continues to boom despite a global financial crisis catalyzed by the COVID-19 pandemic. A report from crypto analytics platform Longcash reveals that more than 10,000 blockchain companies were formed in China from January to July of 2020. Hear that? From January to July, so 7 months. 10,000 companies. My gosh. As long as they're not creating new blockchains on all of their new coins, then okay. I just hope, I'm sure, presumably they'd be doing stuff, that has more to do with the infrastructure, not just a straight up money grab like an ICO or anything like that. I would hope that pretty much that'd be none of them. Otherwise, gosh. Because there's already over 5,000 cryptocurrencies out there, and I'm sorry guys, you do not need a new form of money for every type of thing you can buy. Which is why I've joked in the past, imagine you go to a grocery store and you have to use, you buy a banana, and you have to use banana coin to buy your banana. Or you go get a haircut, you had to have, a haircut coin or some crap like that. Can you imagine if you had to have a new form of currency for everything? It's ridiculous. And that's part of what's going on in the world of blockchain and crypto, which I've always thought is completely absurd. And so that's why, when I'd ask people when I entered the world of crypto, I was like, why do we need this many new forms of money? And there was never a good answer, but there kind of is. The answer is it's a money grab, because there's this frenzy around the technology, and these entities, individuals that are starting all of these new projects, they want your money, and they know that it's hot, right? It's a hot thing right now. But, so anyway, 10,000 blockchain companies formed in China from January through July this year, which exceeds the 8,595 recorded in 2017. The crypto data company says the number of newly established blockchain companies in China is set to surpass the 13,885 firms formed last year. So here's a chart. And I did find it somewhat interesting that the greatest number came during the first year of the bear cycle for crypto, 2018. Way more companies formed, but it didn't completely surprise me. It's more like kind of interesting because I assume that with the tail end of 2017 garnering crazy interest around blockchain, it wouldn't surprise me if there were companies that were kind of like in the works but didn't quite exist, and then they kind of launched in 2018. Maybe they've been in the works for months and months and months, and maybe even capital was being raised. And so it's not surprising to me that ultimately saw the most forming in 2018, but at this pace, 2020, going to smash through it. So one of the reasons that I thought I would highlight this is to point out, and that's interestingly enough, again, it's China, not so friendly towards crypto in general, except for they let all sorts of companies actually form there to work in blockchain. You know, and it is blockchain, so it's broader. It is blockchain. I understand that, so it's not necessarily all about crypto, but still, part of the reason this is occurring, I think it's an undeniable truth, is that this isn't going away. Like, infrastructure is actually being built out, and here we are in the early days, and it's so fascinating that you know, regular retail investors had the opportunity to get in, and actually it's retail investors that got the whole ball rolling on this thing before a single institution had any interest in this asset class whatsoever. In fact, so many entities, or in early days, wouldn't have even acknowledged it's an asset class. You know, they'd still be behaving, you know, the way that Goldman Sachs is in indicating that crypto is not an asset. That's their stance in 2020, by the way, that there is no cryptocurrency asset class. That's Goldman Sachs' official position. I know, completely absurd. It's not going to stay like that. Just wait till they find a way to jump in and make money like JP Morgan did. They're going to be singing a different tune, just like JP Morgan did a complete 180. You just wait. Goldman Sachs too. They're also going to be jumping in as soon as they monetize it. They're going to change their tune. But in the meantime, you know, they have their money allocated in particular ways that it's not advantageous to generate interest around this new crypto asset class. Right now, they're just not. They haven't positioned themselves, so they're not one of the early adopters, and that's what it is. But it's just interesting because the United States, and I'm just going to mention this again before wrapping up the video here. United States, like, come on, it's like, get with it, girl. You've got to get your regulatory compliance in order because there's so much innovation happening throughout the rest of the world, and it's just a shame because, and I understand, like, this is me, like, I'm coming to you, like, as an actual United States citizen here, so I'd kind of like it to happen here, and I get that, and, you know, if you don't live here in the United States, maybe you don't care as much, fine, but I'm just saying, because that's what happened with the, you know, the advent of the internet. This is where the innovation really started. And where so much of the innovation ultimately occurred. Think about all the major companies today, like Google, for example. Maybe you've heard of Google. You know, I'm just saying. But we might miss that with this entirely new asset class. We might miss it with the world of blockchain if people don't figure it out. But luckily, there are companies like Ripple that are still here in the United States, and there are others, even exchanges, which are part of the infrastructure, like Coinbase and Uphold. There are other companies out there. But we shall see. It's just interesting stuff. But I'll leave it there. Feel free to tell me what you think about all of this. I'd love diversity of thought. Feel free to drop a comment below. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!